Over the years, I've developed a technique for getting my heavy stuff down to the basement. Well, developed might be giving myself too much credit. It's just a ramp. The simplest of the simple machines. So simple that they form in nature. The newest heavy thing that I've wrecked my Saturday with is a new-to-me South Bend lathe. To get it home, I broke it down into several pieces. I was able to carry all the pieces downstairs by hand except for... Hang on, I didn't do a great job lining up the voiceover to the video. Except for this piece. Out of desperation, I hauled it out of the cellar's basement one step at a time. I'm definitely not eager to do that again. My back hurts just thinking about it. Okay, not to brag, but check out how smooth this maneuver is. That was cool. I probably couldn't do that again if I tried. Remember that scene from Austin Powers where he gets the little golf cart thing stuck in the hallway? This reminded me of that. I thought for a long time about how to do this smoothly, but as you're about to see, I didn't come up with anything good. This rope looks thin, but you might be surprised to learn that its breaking strength is around 2,000 pounds. Using the power of precision butt scooting, I position the sled right at the balance point, then I can tip it slowly onto the rails. Also, it looks like there's a barcode sticker stuck to my leg. This device I'm using has earned a reputation among climbers as a death machine. Trango cinch. Only the best death machine for our operation here. I retired it from belay duty when I learned, but I keep it around for stuff like this. The thought has occurred to me to lay 2x4s flat and shoot screws into the stairs. I guess I'd rather trip over crossbars. Here I'm looking for a clean landing spot. I get a little ambitious, then think better of it. Using the 2x6s, I build myself another ramp. And when that proves to not work very well, I just haul it over like a caveman. A caveman, of course, who lived in the time before the discovery of the ramp. After going through all the work of getting this thing down the stairs, my curiosity's gotten the better of me and I need to know how much it weighs. I've set up a peculiar looking balance here, mainly because I think I'll break my bathroom scale if No, there's no thinking about it. I'm obviously going to break my bathroom scale if I do that. What this is going to let me do is tie the piece on one side and hang plate weights on the other till I get it about balanced, and then I'll be able to do some math to figure out how much the piece weighs. You've probably noticed that the fulcrum of this balance is not in the center, and that's because I don't want to haul what I'm assuming is going to be a horrifying amount of weight out of the gym and over into the shop. The left side of the fulcrum is 10 inches long. The right side of the fulcrum is 30 inches long. That means for every pound hanging on this side, this thing weighs 3 pounds. Everything you see on both sides of the balance is going to stay the same during measuring. I'm going to add those plate weights to the piece on the left, but their particular value is not of concern. All they're there for is to even out the balance. And that C-clamp right there is just for fine tuning. All right, let's get this thing hooked up and see how much it weighs. After much fiddling and readjusting with weights off camera, I've got it in balance here. The best result I could get involved adding some weights back to this side. So, with everything in balance, let's add it all up. We got these weights from before. They don't exist, they're just to make it balanced. I added on a 5.6 and a 9.8. These aren't high quality weights, so I had to double check how much they really weighed. And on this side, we have 26.4, 46.8, and 10.4. If you're wondering what this weird looking device is, let me show you. I can pull this handle to very carefully lower these weights. And that way I'm not straining my muscles or putting anything at risk. I wrote all the math down because I ran out of fingers and toes to count on. The left side of the balance is that 5.6 pound weight that I added later, the 9.8 pound weight, and H, I'm going with H instead of the more conventional X for the weight of that piece because H stands for hernia. Add those all together and then multiply by 10 inches. Similar thing is happening on the right side. These are all the weights that I hung times 30 inches. Try to add these together, but I don't know what H is, so I'll keep those like that for now. Add all these together, that's a number. I'm going to multiply this 10 onto here, multiply this 10 onto here, and now I got it in two terms, 154 inch-pounds, that's now a unit of torque, and 10 times H, inch-pounds, torque as well. This one now breaks down to 2,508 inch-pounds. That's by doing 83.6 times 30. I subtracted 154 inch-pounds from both sides, knocking this down from 2,508 to 2,354 inch-pounds. And now here's the best trick to get from here to here with your final answer. Divide by 10 inches on both sides. The units go away and you're left with H equals 235.4 pounds. And thanks to air, I would probably say on the lighter side, H is probably about 230 pounds. Was all this measuring worth it? No, that was all just for fun. Was all the work of setting up that system and lowering it down on a rope worth it instead of just muscling it down the stairs? Yes, absolutely it was. While we're on the theme of balances, this is my depiction of my decision. If that thing had taken a tumble down the stairs, I'd probably be out 3 things right now. 1, my stairs. 2, that piece probably would have broken. And 3, my water heater, because it's right behind that wall at the base of the stairs. You live another day, but probably not much longer because you're 17 years old. That lowering system was pretty simple. I slapped it together in about 1 hour, and it did an okay job. I used a similar method when we moved into this house, but that system was much more sophisticated and used an engineering principle that I thought was pretty cool. I want to show you some old footage of how that system worked, but while we're at the bench, let me explain that principle. These are 2 devices whose main functionality revolves around the use of a screw, which happens to be my 3rd favorite simple machine. The clamp uses its mechanical advantage to turn small input force into very large output force. The micrometer should absolutely not be used like that. The micrometer uses its mechanical advantage to turn large, clumsy motion here into very precise motion here that is suitable for measuring. Every once in a while, I like to come down here and make sure my entire set is still in spec. This guy's about 1 thou over on his diameter, but I think we can let it slide. As an engineer, if you were stuck in the paradigm that screws are used for large force multiplication, you would be blinding yourself to the possibilities of using screws for distance reduction. Mechanical advantage is, however, it can give you an advantage. That concept of using mechanical advantage in an unusual way was very useful in the system you're about to see. That system had a piece of rope that was fixed at the top of the stairs. It had a pulley that was attached to the load going down the ramp, and the other end of that rope went back up the stairs to me, where I was controlling the friction on that rope to lower the cart down slowly. A pulley system like this would give my left hand ×2 mechanical advantage. 1 unit of pull force here becomes 2 units of pull force here. However, multiplying force was not what I needed when I put this pulley on there. Much like the example of the micrometer, I was looking for very precise motion control. For every 2 units of distance that my left hand moves, the pulley will only travel 1 unit of distance. I used the old sled to lower my entire workshop down here, so that meant boxes, machines, workbenches, all sorts of things. There was no way for me to control where the center of gravity was going to be from load to load, so in order to make the transition from flat ground to ramp, I needed the ability to control the position of the sled very precisely. Most of the time when I use pulleys, I'm using them for force multiplication. Usually I'm trying to lift something heavy that common sense would dictate I should just leave alone. But if I had gotten stuck in that paradigm that pulleys are used for lifting heavy things, I would have blinded myself to the possibility of using pulleys for precise motion control. Those are going nowhere, aren't they? Probably from the... Fuck.
Go.
This will not be productive in the slightest. Using the power of precision butt scooting, I position the sled right at the balance point, then I can tip it slowly onto the rails.